views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff and management of WWDBTV.
Where my girls got the sweetest
pussy.
Welcome to
SinCityBounty.com.
That's classic SinCityBounty right there.
There you go.
Where we open the show with the shouting of the word pussy.
Pussy. Are you done with this?
All right.
Yes, I'm done.
So, no guests today, but that also means no cookies today. And the Twizzlers in the house are hard as rocks.
These are so
Twizzlers.
hard.
Or whatever. Red Vines, Twizzlers, licorice.
All the better to suck on.
That's true. You could suck on it instead.
It doesn't, no, it doesn't work for food. It works for other things. But food, I'm totally a Tootsie Pop, eater, chewer. I don't know how many licks. No.
You can't suck on food?
No, I just bite it.
You know, if you suck on food more, you might not have the inclination to suck on other things more. Use it as leverage.
I have an oral fixation, which is why you always see me chewing gum.
And sucking dick.
Well, it's a medical condition. What can I say?
I will suck the innards out of a burrito. I mean, that's where I get all my sucking done.
You know what I like to do? You know those big, fat, juicy dill pickles? The big ones, almost like a hand and a half pickle? I like to bite the top off of it and suck the seeds right out of it. Just so you know, I almost choked on my own toots.
Do you consider that practice?
Yeah, especially since I sometimes use my tongue to get in there and really get it out.
I can't. Who the fuck has time for that? Just give me the pickle.
You would chew that motherfucker up,
I would chew that motherfucker.
There's no sucking involved.
I savor my pickle.
I'm not savoring shit. That pickle is going down.
That's right. As soon as your dick out, she's just.
I got nothing to say. I have no defense right this moment.
I have beef jerky in my teeth.
All right, so what's going on, ladies? Want to catch us up with your love life, your dating escapades, your foray into the dating world?
If you thought I had been on another first date since the last time we talked, you'd be wrong. I have been sort of seeing this couple for, God, it's been
tell us all about
6
that.
or 7 months now, I guess. We haven't really finalized or made anything official, and it's poly, so I mean, it doesn't mean I have to stop dating other people, although I might, just because, well, not just that this one's convenient, but I also really like them both, and we haven't had the DTR talk just yet.
What's DTR?
Define the relationship. We haven't really had that discussion yet.
Can I ask a couple of questions before you go into what's going on? Don't you treat joining a poly relationship just like you would treat a regular relationship where you get to know the people first?
Yeah, well, I've known them for a couple of years. We've been friends for 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah, but not in such close.
No, we are definitely learning to be. So we also all come from the same sort of kink background. We all have very similar kink interests, and that's what I'm going to go into a little bit later. So this weekend was the first weekend I was ever fully nude before them. There was no sex, but at least 2 out of 3 of us were fully naked.
I'm sorry, if I'm getting naked, there's going to be sex.
Listen, if I'm going through the effort again.
I basically got a back rub and acupuncture done this weekend, so I'm not fucking complaining. So...
Wait, how'd that acupuncture go for you, though?
Oh, she's going to get into that, right?
You saw the pictures.
No, but I'm talking after.
Oh, that was from helping friends move Friday night.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I spent...
I thought maybe you hit a nerve or something.
That was our buddy Ryan and his...
Yeah, and his girl.
Jamie.
I did. I helped them move this weekend. That was a last minute. I was just rolling out of my parking lot at work, and I got the bing. Anyway, we can use you in your magnificent van this weekend. And I was like, well, you can use me right now for about 2 hours, and then I have a meeting, and then you can use me after that. But then Saturday I am booked solid. I have booked the day for me to do shit for me.
And for all of you on Facebook or on YouTube who are thinking that you can call Sierra at any time and use her van to move, no.
No, I gotta really like your ass.
I mean, unless you're me, because I've done it.
well, we planned that.
That's true.
The last minute move stuff really only happens with people I super duper like. If I don't super duper like you, I have other things to do. Yeah, and even moving you, I've really got to like you a lot. So anywho, so Saturday, I had already planned. It was the first Saturday in a long time I haven't had a bunch of other shit planned. Nothing in the evening, nothing during the day. And we used to have like a weekly thing where I would go over and we'd hang out and we'd watch TV or movies or whatever. So we just figured, hey, come over at noonish. There's this like kink social get-together thing happening. We can go to that in the evening after, you know, we have lunch and hang out. And then the dominant in the group was like, well, you know, I'm pretty confident with needles now. Are you still interested in doing needles? And I said, yes.
Let's
Yes.
shiver together.
I'm
So-
still, it's burned in my brain
let me,
for
I don't have my
life.
phone. So if you Google like needle corset or needlework, well, no, not needlework. You'll get like cross stitch shit, but like a needle corset or something. You'll see pictures where they take syringe needles, sterilized, brand new, not reused, right out of the package, and they insert them just under your skin. Sort of like, you know, when you were in like junior high and you used to pierce the skin of your finger and
No!
well, I've been sewing
I've done that.
I've been sewing myself up since junior high. I'm like, I would like thread.
Oh, no, I would do my fingers, but I wouldn't do my arm or anything.
Oh yeah, I've done it all the way up my arm. I've actually sewn string into myself, and it was pretty cool. So anyway, he did this thing down my back called a corset. It was just a half back. It was just the top half. It wasn't the bottom
It's like
half.
8 needles total.
I think it
10
was like
needles.
6 on each side.
Was it that many?
I think so. It was either 5 or 6 on each side. You've got pictures.
I know, but
I sent pictures to everybody.
I'm monitoring chat.
You should have seen my ass. As soon as I got the pictures on, I was like, take this picture on my phone. There was like 15 people I sent that fucking picture to. I was like, look what I
It's
did.
nice to know we got that shit on a group text. I thought it was individual. Like, I thought she's like, I felt so good about this. I really just want to show my closest friends. But apparently it's your
No.
closest 503 friends.
It's no, it was like, let me count on my hands. So it was you two, another person in the
Is
kink-
it on your FetLife profile?
It is.
Is this the first time you've ever had this done to you?
Yes.
This is why. So I'm more forgiving.
Yeah,
All right.
it's the very first time.
Very first
I
time.
have wanted
How
to
long
do this.
after you sent it to us did you send it to the 501 other people and put it on your profile?
I mean, at least 3 of them it was later in the day because I knew they were busy. And I also was debating on whether or not I'd send it to them, but then I decided I would. I sent it to a couple of our friends that we knew would be totally cool and into seeing needles in my skin. A couple of other kink fuckers that I know.
She thinks I'm okay with seeing needles in her skin.
But you guys are my best friends. You have to see it first. Just so you know, you guys saw it first. You guys saw it first before anyone else.
7th and 8th.
Anyway, we started out with 2 crosses on my boobs.
Oh, yeah.
Little needles first, and then bigger needles on this side to see how I could handle it. And so when we went to the back, I was like, let's start with the little needles. Because it is painful. It's not without pain. But the pain dissipates rather quickly for me. All except for the very last one on my right side. Like, he must have hit a nerve because that bitch hurt for a while. A while.
Couldn't put like what's that Neosporin on it that has the pain reliever.
I mean, I'm
In it?
sure you could, but what's the point? I'm in it for the pain.
And then he wrapped string like a corset.
Yeah, like ribbon. Alcohol, like he sanitized, everything was sanitized. My back got sanitized beforehand. He wore gloves the whole time. The ribbon, before he wove it, was soaking in alcohol the whole time he was piercing me. So it was everything was fully sanitized. Although I'll tell you, you can totally feel the alcohol on that ribbon.
Oh, yeah.
When he first puts it on.
And did
it's
he
like, woo,
did
woo.
he tie it like a corset? Like did he pull it, cinch it?
Not tight.
No.
I mean, there was definitely, when I was laying down, it was firm, but not tight. And then when I sat up, because, you know, then all your back fat squishes together, you had to tighten it up for the pictures where I was sitting up. And,
Keep going.
and
we're dealing
so that was
with
a little
it.
tight, and then I had to learn how to move with it in, because I sat there for a while with it in. And it was kind of cool, because I'd be like, I'd move this way and I could feel everything pull, and I'd move this way and it would all pull, and then I could do this and I felt it all just like rippling around in
You
there.
are a kicky motherfucker.
I am a kinky motherfucker.
Do you plan on doing it again? Did you enjoy
Yes.
it that much? That
Oh,
you're...
yeah, that's happening again. Yeah. My goal is to eventually, because it was just 2 straight lines, and down the medius part of your back, which has the least amount of nerves in it. My goal is to do a full V from the tops of my shoulders all the way down my back to where there's a single one that crosses across that ridge over my spine, and then lace it all the way down.
I
And
want
maybe
pictures.
put a little bit of tension on it.
I want pictures.
There will be pictures. There will
I
be
want to hang fairy wings from this shit. Like,
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Although, I mean, I have seen where there's piercings here and piercings here to support something like that, and I could do that.
okay.
Honest
all
to
good
God.
idea. This is great. I like this.
So everyone
I'm
who is
hearing this.
opposed to this, honestly, it's no worse than getting a tattoo.
How many tattoos do you have?
It's multiple
1.
punctures.
I don't even have one.
It's multiple
Your tattoos
punctures.
hurt me.
It's multiple punctures with very thin needles. Some people do big ass needle gauges, and I don't think I'd ever do that.
Did this play on Saturday? And that was, she sent us a picture, and that was in motherfucking daylight. It wasn't even nighttime play.
It was not even
It was
nighttime play.
daytime play.
It was.
For fun, by
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah, and no sex. and no
And no
sex.
sex.
And no sex. Did that?
Wait, not even after that?
No. No, we watched Castle Rock after that.
Wow,
We
that's
binged, like,
amazing.
3 or
That
4
sounds like
episodes of
fun.
Castle Rock. It was a lot of fun. Johnny can't drink anything right now. He's going to snort it out his nose.
Did this play help in the getting to know you that now you're a little bit more serious about becoming a part of their couple?
Yeah, I would say that this probably, because I spent the rest of the evening thinking about it and, you know, up till today, considering it. Yeah, I think that really led to me more seriously considering defining the relationship with him. Right now, it's just friends who do kinky shit together sometimes. None of us have had sex with each other yet. I mean, aside from some titty
Well, they've had
fondling.
sex together.
Well, yeah, they've had sex together. Aside from titty fondling and some making out, there really hasn't been any sort of sexual intercourse between us yet. So
Not even
I don't
sexual-
even know who they are, but I've probably already had sex with them. I mean, come on.
Not even sexual foreplay? Except for titty squeezing? More than the titty squeezing? No?
we've had
How
this
do you
very
get from
relaxed-
titty squeezing to can you sew up my back?
It's the
And not even put fairy wings on it.
It's
I
the
don't
kink-
get it.
It's the kink thing. It's,
Yeah.
I know.
This
I
is
know.
why
It's not about
this is
sex.
why I couldn't go 100% into the kink world, because a lot of people who are into that are into it just for the kink part of it. I have to have sex.
There-
If you're going to slap my
Some-
ass,
Some of my kinks lead to sex. Some of my kinks don't.
all kinks with me have to lead to
If you're, here's my rule, if you're going to tie my back up with fucking needles and rope, I better get fucked
Well,
after.
that's never happening to me.
I
Lisa.
was just going to ask that.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go on.
Lisa wants to know: was liquid courage needed?
No, actually, you should not have. When you are doing needle play, you as the person being punctured should not be drunk or have alcohol in your system, because it thins your blood and it can cause a lot of problems. So no,
That's definitely out.
We didn't drink until afterwards.
Lisa says she loves your hair down. By the way.
Thank you.
Where'd it go? Lisa also said, "Who knew this show was educational?" That's one
This
of
show
our.
is educational.
That's one of the things that we want to do, is educate you in the world, in the sexual realm, in the dating realm.
Believe it or not, our goal on this show is to teach you shit.
Yeah. Lisa says, "I love my piercings, but I don't know. I'm still deep breathing."
I'm not going to tell you guys that this was a breeze whatsoever, especially those last like 3. 2 on one side and 1 on the other. Because the farther down you go, also the more nerves you encounter. It hurt, but I'm okay with that. This is how I explained it. I am not a pain slut, but I am a pain enthusiast.
What other, did he tempt you with other things, other kinds of kink play? Are there other things that he does besides the needle thing now? You said that he's getting really good at his needle thing, so he's still kind of a beginner?
With the needles, yes.
Yes.
But everything else he's very experienced in.
So what other things can you expect from this couple?
Impact play.
What's impact play?
Where they beat the shit out of you. You've seen impact play on me before. I've done
I've done impact play on you before.
Yeah. So impact play.
That's just spanking and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spanking and stuff.
What's the end stuff?
Well, spanking is usually just with your hand or with a paddle, but I also enjoy cattails, whips.
I like cats too.
No. They're
like
multiple stranded.
She knows.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Paddles. I prefer thumpy things. So the bigger and thumpier it is, the heavier it is. I like it.
She also doesn't like it if you do it and it doesn't leave a mark.
Have you ever seen anyone leave a mark on me? No. I'm sort of afraid of how hard someone has to hit me to leave a mark, because she's seen a couple of public demonstrations that I've done where my ass is pink for about 15 minutes afterwards. One of them was so intense, a couple of people had to leave the room. A couple of people at a kink joint had to leave the room because it was rather intense. But I've never been caned, so I don't know how that would work. I was supposed to be caned, but I never got caned. I know I'm getting caned now.
So the dom in the group, in the couple, is going to give you all the things. He's going to cane you. He's going to impact play
If I
with
ask
you.
for it, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have to ask for it?
Yeah, I have to ask for it.
Like, I mean, do you have to ask?
So you have
Well,
to.
we haven't negotiated terms yet about some things. We've negotiated a couple of small things, but nothing like that
Right,
yet.
but do you have to ask, so when it comes down to it, will it be like, hey Bob, can you beat my ass, or will there be certain terms that you choose to?
It depends.
Depends
Depends on the dynamic we decide to build.
In the movies,
You have to except for Secretary.
Watch it
many times.
In those cheap ass dime porn novels, the girl has to get on her knees, wearing her stiletto heels with her hair in a certain way, and the lipstick and all that, and she has to crawl over
read the same
on
erotica
all
we read.
fours.
We read the same erotica.
Yeah.
I mean, if we negotiated the scene that way, yes. But I'm not into degradation or humiliation, and so begging usually isn't kind of my thing.
What is it with those books and the degradation and humiliation?
I don't know. People are like, slap my face and call me slut, and I'm like, bitch, you slap my face and call me slut, I'm gonna punch you in the dick.
But some people are just as into that as you are into your tie up my back.
No, I am not kink shaming. If you want to get slapped in the face and be called a slut, I 100% support you. As a matter of fact, I know I could do that to you, but not have it done to me. It's not my kink. Degradation, humiliation, begging, not really my kink. I'm not really into
I don't
all that.
want it.
No.
Just don't pull the real world into mine.
No, I like to set everything down. Yeah, I also don't like, some stuff crosses over, but not a lot of it. Like, for instance, I might wear a needle corset out in public under a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Or if we were going to go to a
Can I
kink
ask you
event.
a favor?
What? Never do that?
Can you give me a heads up?
Yeah.
Just so I'm not like, hey buddy.
That would actually be kind of cool.
You're turning her on. Stop it!
The back of my neck is tingling and my ears are all fucked up.
I would then vomit. So then our night's ruined. Like, you're turned on. I smell like puke. It's not going to work out.
Some people are into that. So I like to negotiate all of my scenes first, discuss them with whoever I'm partnering with, what's going to happen, how's it going to go. I like to be able to just say, okay, and go, and then that's it. Like, I don't want to negotiate as we go. Like, it'll be like, okay, these are the instruments I'd like to be used. Use them in whatever fashion you want. You know, are we going to use the stoplight system, or is it just a hard stop with a safe word? Like, I like to negotiate all that ahead of time.
How far can that extend? Like, I'm just wondering now, do you corset your butt? Like,
You can.
Do
I've
people
actually
do
seen
that?
titty corsets, and I might do one of those.
No, yours are too big. Like,
They are rather big.
No.
But I don't have a lot of feeling.
You tie
Boobs are
those
hurting
together.
right now.
You tie those together and then let go.
No, I wouldn't do that. Like, the needles would probably be like this, and I would just drape the.
I'm hugging my breasts.
Oh my God!
I
But
wouldn't
would there be
tighten it
tension? Would you be
together,
like
no.
this, and then all of a sudden,
No,
like they're
because
all
the
tied up,
skin-
and you're like, boom!
No,
skin up
she
here
would
is-
tear it.
I know.
No, it's very thin up here. I would not do that. I would do it in a complete relaxed manner, or I'd have a really low cut bra, and I would have it all tied in together. But I wouldn't have it cinched tight.
Like it wouldn't be serving the purpose of a bra.
No, it would be for aesthetic purposes only.
I do that with rope.
You tie your boobs.
I've had it done with rope. I like it when it's done with rope.
Yeah, rigging is another thing that this Dom is not really experienced with, but he knows someone who is, and someone who is specifically experienced with rigging BBWs, and I want to be rigged.
Rigging is rope?
No, rigging is rope where you're tied and dangling from
Oh,
something.
no.
Yeah,
I will
that's
not dangle.
going to happen soon, just so y'all know.
That's because you're small fat.
You're going to get
Small
when
fat.
you're fat, there is no chance that's happening. There is no chance.
The girl, okay, so at this kink social event, I overheard a girl who was quite a bit bigger than me talking about one of the other guys who had rigged her from a setup. And I was like, oh, and I turned to the Dom and I was like, did I just hear her say that she got rigged, like dangled from a ceiling rig? And he was like, yeah. I was like, you know someone who can rig a BBW? He goes, that guy right there. And I was like, we're going to need to talk to that man.
I wanted to do an aerial yoga class where they have the sheet, the hammock sheet thing that hangs. And I was so paranoid that, despite the fact that they assured me, it would hold, I was just so paranoid that I'd be in there and it wouldn't.
Like the fabric would rip, or it would come out of the ceiling?
Or however it's connected would come down, because I'm just, for my size, I'm not meant to fucking fly in air and dangle in air. Like, there's a thing called gravity, and it likes my fat ass solid. Like, that's why I can't roller skate. It puts me It's like, no, stop trying to fuck with science and get your ass on the ground. That's why I'm always falling. So I can't, there's no scenario where that feels like my
I will let you
anxiety
guys know,
wouldn't choke me to death.
if I am able to negotiate this into being semi-public, you guys will be invited to my rigging.
I'm gonna be underneath trying to catch you. Stop swaying.
Oh, God.
Why are you hanging by your titties? Come on. How is this fun?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be throwing pillows underneath. I'm gonna lay down flat so my ass cushions your fall.
Yeah, these two are very supportive, especially of some of my, well, these are actually fairly normal vanilla-ish kinks, needles and rope.
Not according to our audience in Facebook.
I was actually talking to another friend of mine about kink, and apparently choking and being tied to the bed is just not kinky enough anymore. Like, that's vanilla now.
Right, no, that got de-kinked.
Yeah, that's totally
that's
de-kinked.
what the vanilla novel, that's what the 50 Shades of Grey did. Like, that normalized all of that. So now you have to take it one step further.
That's what I said. You gotta go into, the deep,
hanging
dark
from the
recesses.
ceiling by your titties. Like, that's what you gotta do now.
Yeah, you can't just be like, I like to be choked and fucked. Like, that's not kinky anymore. That's Tuesday
You're like,
night.
that's my hello. What?
Yeah. It's like,
Where do you go from there?
And that all depends on who you're dating, though. If you're, when I was with someone, they conceded to at least curse or talk dirty to me during sex, which is great. But otherwise, it was completely vanilla, which was perfectly fine. And that's why I moved out of the kink lifestyle, because he was not kinky at all.
So
Would you
it all
move back
depends.
into the kink lifestyle if you found someone you were comfortable
I
with?
have definitive rules.
Yeah, everyone
So-
does.
It would
I
be.
think you're
there has to
supposed
be.
to, like
there
you're
has to be
expected
sex. There has to be sex, and you definitely cannot bring the real world into the room.
And you can't bring the kink out into the real world with me
No.
most of the time. Like, I saw a guy for 2.5 seconds because we went grocery shopping once, and he was like, tried to degrade me in public, and I was like, that's not really how this works.
Nope.
Right.
Not for me anyway. Maybe other bitches. Like, go find it. There are lots of degradees out there. Lots of them. Girls totally into being degraded day and night, inside, upside, downside, whatever the fuck way.
Yeah,
And
like don't bring your at-home stuff out. Like, do I love to watch you jerk off in the corner? Of course. Inside.
I don't want you to do it at
Do I want you
Target.
to do it at the ballpark? Not necessarily.
Now, that's totally different from someone coming up into your ear while you're out in public and maybe whispering something like, I'm gonna fuck the shit out of your dirty little cunt later, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, you are. Like, yeah, let's do this.
Is this a person you know? Are we talking like anyone comes up and they're
I mean,
like,
at this point, really.
You totally just had a Robert De Niro facial expression.
Or Christian Slater.
Oh, yeah. But Christian Slater looks like everyone, so.
Forrest Whitaker.
No.
I can do that
When
because
she turned her head and just holding her hand up.
We have already established that that is not to be done.
just so you know, the reason I can do Forrest Whitaker so well is one of my eyes does actually droop significantly more than the other. Most people don't notice it, but if you look at me head on,
No.
yeah, I have one eye that droops significantly.
I have a special message for someone here in the room. From Bree, it says, I'm all for dirty talk during sex. Sometimes I can't believe the crap I say.
You ain't whistling Dixie, sister, because I say some shit. Play with me, Daddy.
That was a secret message for someone in the room.
Should I write that down?
Bree says, for me, if it hurts, it's not for me. The party is over real fast. I am done. Abby says, LMAO, I am with you, Toxie. Fernie is still breathing deep. Still breathing deep.
So, you know, it really depends on me. The pain has to be negotiated. It can't be brought, like, I have to know that pain might be involved. I said I'm an enthusiast. I'm not a slut for it, so. Most of the time, if I'm looking for pain to be inflicted, I'm not looking for sex afterwards.
Just so you guys know, I've been in, you call them negotiations or talks. They're not like you're all in business suits sitting at a table discussing
Well, some.
what's
I mean,
going to
I
happen.
think you've contracted out before, right?
Contracted
it. No, I mean,
my last relationship was contracted. Yeah, there was a contract.
Yeah, but it wasn't, you guys weren't sitting across from each other at a table drinking coffee. Well, maybe the dining room table, but it was still casual. You were probably in your PJs when you were talking about it, right?
And a lot
Or
of it was
something?
back and forth through email
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
So it's not like a business thing.
No,
it can
but
be.
It's when you live this kind of lifestyle, it helps, number one, to establish consent rules. Like, what am I consenting to? What am I not consenting to? And it also allows you a fallback. So, like, if you say, I don't want to do that, or I never consented to that, but you did in your contract, then you can't get too mad at them because, you know, you did consent to do that.
Now,
But you can change. You should never have a contract that is unchangeable, ever, ever, ever. You should never have a negotiation that isn't negotiable, ever, ever. Like, let's say if we had started the needles thing and 2 needles in, I was like, nah, fuck this. Then I should be able to say, no, stop, I don't want to go any further, and that's it. That's the end of it. It stops. It doesn't go
That's
any
basic
further.
consent.
As a matter of fact, this partner did 2 and then 2 more and then said, are you good? Can you go more? I said, I can do at least 2 more. And every time he did a pair, he stopped and asked me if I wanted to continue.
why didn't you say no?
Because I did
She
want
wanted to
I
continue.
did
She
stop. When he got to the one on the right, I knew he still had to do the one on the left. That one hurt like a bitch, but my left side doesn't hurt as much. So I had him finish that one, and then that was it for me. I probably could have gone all the way down, but I really needed to dial it back
Next
a little.
time.
This is the very first
Balls.
time it's been, so I think it was great that it was as small as it was. Just so you can.
It wasn't that small. Like, if it was that small.
It was only the top half of my back.
I don't know. It seemed like a lot.
I also did not realize.
She's already into this stuff. We already know this. So a little tiny pinprick is nothing compared to the walloping I have seen her ass get.
Yes, Johnny.
Are these needles like acupuncture needles?
No, they're syringe needles. So they're gauged. These were, I think we used like a 25 gauge or something small on me. Very small, very thin. Like almost pediatric needles.
They're not that small and thin. I used to have to do B12 shots, and I had to do my own, which meant I closed my eyes and cried while my daughter did my shot.
You sound like my mom.
Yeah, and that's not as small as you think, but that's okay. That's okay. It's all good. You enjoyed it. You enjoyed it. That's good. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to do it again, probably with more complexity. There's another person in town that does them, but they do designs. Remember that Hello Kitty I showed you guys? That was done on the submissive of this parent, and that's actually what really drove me to really want to do this, because the woman who did that to her does all these crazy, beautiful designs. She did a wolf head on somebody once, and I was like, I want to do that. There's a lot of stuff I want to do, but I need to build up to it. I do know that it's something like that is very intricate. It's many hours long. It takes a lot of negotiation to get to that point.
So because our favorite Tumblr is gone, right? Our
Tumblr's there, just the porn is gone.
As far as I'm concerned, Tumblr is dead to me.
So what I did was, as much as I could, I downloaded a bunch of the pictures and the GIFs and the things like that. So now I have a folder. And if I ever decide to start dating again, I'm going to put that into a Google Drive folder.
And share it?
And share it with, so they'll know. Because that's how I tell people this is what I like. Right?
Yeah. I'm just like, scroll my FetLife. Scroll that shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have an account there, but I think I made it like years and years and years ago. So, but I don't know if I want to go on there and make an account.
I
love it just for perving. Like, there's a ton of beautiful videos. You have to pay, or pictures. You have to pay to see videos, but the photos are beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous.
I've always said I wanted to set up a FetLife account, but mine's basically going to say, please refer to Sierra's account for things I don't want to do.
Everything on her account is what I won't do.
And basically it's just all the needle stuff.
For those of you who don't know, can you explain what FetLife is?
So FetLife is an online social media website for people who have fetishes, FetLife. Just go to FetLife.com and sign up.
Right. Also, Adult Friend Finder.
Well, Adult Friend Finder is more of a dating site, and it's not free. FetLife is free. To watch videos that people post, you do have to pay. There's a monthly fee, a yearly fee, and there's also a lifetime fee, like a one-time. That's it.
That's when you're serious.
But just like Facebook, there are groups. Like if you're into certain kind of fetish, there are groups that you can join and talk to other people.
There's local groups. There's events. A lot of that's how I stay up on my fetish events or my kink events is through FetLife, although a lot of them post on Facebook too, so I don't know if you've ever seen me like going to Kink Social this Wednesday. That's sorry. I try to keep that to FetLife, but sometimes it's not there. Sometimes it's on Facebook. Like I think Leather Church is on Facebook instead of FetLife. Yeah, but yeah, I enjoy it. I use FetLife for two things: events and keeping up with my friends, and that's really it. I hardly ever accept new friend requests, and if I do, it's from people I've met in person. I probably only have a handful of people I've never met in person that I've actually accepted a friend request from, but that's because we've liked each other's pictures or we've interacted through comments on something else. Usually we have to have some sort of interaction.
What happens when somebody from regular Facebook makes an account on FetLife and discover you're there?
That's cool.
I will tell you. Do they friend you? Do you friend them back?
It depends on who they are. So far, I will have to tell you that in real life, I have mostly friends that I know for sure are kinky end up on there. But I have occasionally had people find out that I have a FetLife account, and they're like, I'll add you on FetLife, but don't tell anybody what my profile is. I don't want anybody to know. And then I friend them, and I know why they don't want anybody to know, because now I see your list of fetishes and the kinks and the shit that you're into and the photos you post and the shit you've done and the comments you make and the writings you have, and I'm like, you are a dirty son of a bitch, and I fucking love it.
So I just remembered as we're talking, because I've talked about setting up an account so many times before, I remembered I actually did it once.
Oh, you do, and you have me.
And you're my only friend.
I'm your only friend. So
And
all
my
you see,
profile pic is actually a pic of my cat.
You know what she's doing the rest of the night? She's gonna go scroll and
what you should do is scroll and see.
No, I'm not going on.
Oh, those are your pictures.
Yeah, those are the ones that. So the other thing is, the Dom is also a photographer, and he did some glamour shots of me all done up. I did not realize how asymmetrical my back is. I had surgery that removed an organ, and it has now caused one side of my back to be vastly different from the other side. Like, I didn't realize how different they were. Most fat people, you see them and you see their beautiful rolls, and they're wonderful and symmetrical, and they look like a fucking sculpture. I just look like a lump of fucking clay thrown on there.
Oh,
Like, nah,
stop
that's good.
it. Your back is pretty. I even like the little scars that you have.
I have a ton of scars.
I love them.
I'm very scarred. Apparently, I scarred well as a child, not so much as an adult.
Well, now I'm excited for your future
Me too.
Fishnets.
and the kinkiness.
Oh yeah, that was from the Red Party.
Hey,
I'm
for
doing
you guys in
tonight.
our Facebook feed, if you want to share any of your fetishes with us, doesn't have to be BDSM.
No.
Doesn't have to be any of that. If you wear diapers, maybe.
Yeah, FetLife's not just about BDSM. It's about all fetishes and kinks. Just so
Feet,
you all know.
feet is huge.
Feet
Feet
a
is
huge
really
thing.
huge. Feet is a
Feet,
huge
hands. I mean, you could be just into anything. And remember the alt sites back in the early 90s? The first, like, websites, the alternative lifestyle websites? They were called alt sites.
In the early 90s?
Yeah.
I didn't even use a computer in the early. Like, we were just getting AOL in my house that my mom had to dial up on our computer in the living room, and I go to log in and it's all.
Well, I found alt sites apparently in the early 90s when I was a teenager and cruising around the internet on the college campus. When those bitches had the very first T1 lines and internet was fast. It was quick. Anyway. did a
I was
lot of
waiting
that.
for my AOL dial-up disc to come in the mail.
I've been a nerd forever. And apparently a kinky nerd forever.
So what's next? Right now, what do you, in your agenda, in your bujo? What's next?
Nothing.
Do you
Nothing.
wait for your back to heal before you do it again? Like, if he goes in again, does he go in the same holes, different holes?
This was just Saturday.
I saw it. I was there. Not there, but I saw you after.
You can't even see anything.
Nope, can't see anything.
Yeah. The holes are thin enough that they heal up pretty quickly. The only ones that are still even sort of visible.
They are actual holes, though. It's not like an acupuncture needle, right? Does an,
An
acupuncture,
acupuncture
needle
needle-
leave a hole?
Yeah.
Really?
Anytime you poke yourself, you leave a hole. They heal up super quick because they're super thin. You can't see them. This is where I had. You can only see the bruising where I may have pushed a little too hard. And then there's a little bit of bruising on that one, but I mean, I don't mark very well.
So you don't
But
have
I also
anything
heal pretty
planned
quickly.
upcoming?
No, not yet.
Not yet. But you're chomping at the bit to get something, to do something else.
I'm always chomping at the bit to do something. We'll see how it goes.
All right.
We'll see. Like I said, it's all got to be negotiated. I got to figure it out. What am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Who do I want to do it with? I might be giving up the finding a date on dating apps thing, but again, that's going to come down to the DTR conversation that we have.
As long as you're getting fulfilled, like on a personal level, right?
So, I am emotionally fulfilled with all of you guys. Like, I'm not
That's
looking
true.
for a partner because I feel some sort of emotional gap. I would like to have someone that I can regularly fuck and go stargazing with and sometimes snuggle with. Not all the time, though. I'm not a big snuggler.
Right now you have like 4 or 5 different people that can help fill those needs.
Yeah.
Because I'll
Without-
snuggle with you if you want.
Yeah, well, except the fucking regular thing. I've got to...
I'll hang out with you from the other side of your bed.
You'll do what?
Hang out from the other side of the bed. I'm not a snuggler.
No.
No?
No.
What about stargazing? Do you like doing that? You can't do that part with
No, I
us?
don't have the attention span to be able to gaze at a star for more than 7 seconds. Like, if the stars are doing tricks and it's a meteor shower and, I don't know. The moon is, I don't know.
Do you know what's the most awesome thing about the stargazing? It's the hanging out and the conversations
Yeah.
with the people.
Well, for me, it's the being outside part.
Well, that too.
And hanging out with people in the conversations. There's usually a couple of beers involved, sometimes a barbecue or
Or coffee.
coffee, whatever.
I thought I had that once and I did not. Where do you find stars in Vegas? Like past the
45 minutes,
smog?
north or south? Indian
Silver.
Springs.
What's that Silver State Park thing? That big Springs Preserve? No, not that one.
No, that's
Springs
middle of-
Preserve. That's
No,
like
no,
in
no,
the
not
middle
that
of
one.
Smog Valley.
No, it's
Like,
Indian Springs.
no. Where do they do the Kilt Festival?
Oh, Tule Springs, but that's in the city now too.
Oh,
So no, you got to go clear out to Indian Springs, or if you don't want to go quite that far, you can go to the Lee Canyon side of Mount Charleston. If you go to the Kyle Canyon side, it's still too close to the city, and there's not enough mountains between you and this city.
I follow an astronomy group on Facebook, and one of these days I'm going to make it out to one of their events, but they're always packed because they invite the public out, and the astronomers of the group set up their telescopes for the public
Right.
to come look
we
through.
did it at a Red Rock thing before.
Yeah.
Like up in Red Rock, we went to one
So
of those.
there are places that are kind of close to town that you can go to because those guys go to them all the time. And if anybody's going to know where to go, it's those guys.
Yeah, I'll tell you. So rule of thumb in Vegas is if you want to see stars, you got to drive 45 minutes, the very least, from wherever you are. 45 minutes and you'll see stars.
So your stargazing is my beach, because the beach is the one place where I can just lay there and listen to the sounds of the water,
I could do that too.
and just
I totally
zone
love the beach.
for hours
We should
upon
totally
hours
do a beach
upon
vacation
hours.
together.
We can do a weekend beach vacation. It's only 4
should go to
hours, 5
Catalina.
hours from here.
Huntington Beach is my favorite.
Catalina
Not
Island?
that far.
No, the Catalina, what's her name that does the Catalina thing? The Boo Bash.
Oh, the Boo Bash.
That's in San Diego.
Is it their ocean near San Diego?
Of course, but Catalina is a little island
She calls
that
it.
you take.
She calls her thing something with the Catalina.
Oh, okay, I got you. The name of her group. Got you. I thought you were thinking of the island. Like I took a cruise once and we stopped at Catalina for the day.
What's her name?
It's Kathy Edmondson.
Yes.
And it's the Boo Bash. It is in San Diego. It is in October. It is right around our kid's birthday.
It always falls the same weekend
Always
as the
the same
birthday
time.
parties. Yeah.
And I want to say you're right. It's like Club Catalina.
Club
or
Catalina.
something.
That's the name of it.
And she's
Club
asked
Catalina.
us many times about coming, and it always ends up being at that time.
She should
Yeah.
do a summer one that we can go to, maybe.
There's already 2 big ass summer ones going.
Oh, there's more
I
than
know.
2 big ass ones. We have our 2 big Vegas ones, and then there's
Cocoa Beach.
Dallas Fort Worth is going to be one of the huge ones this year. And then
Dallas?
Cocoa Beach. Yep,
Yeah.
there's a DFW one.
I fucking love. I grew up in Dallas. I spent most of my childhood in Dallas.
I grew up in Dallas too, just not Texas.
Catalina is her name in Spanish.
Oh,
That would.
yeah.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Bree knows the scoop.
Way to go, Bree.
And
Thank you,
all the
Bree.
people in the BBW community.
So yeah, what's up for me next? I don't know yet.
All right.
Nothing right now.
All right. What about you? What's going on with you?
So I'm going to share with you a message that I got. And then I kind of want to talk about it for a
Okay,
moment.
we got 20 minutes or so.
Well, I don't need that long because I also want to talk about the whole college scandal. So
Which college scandal?
I'll tell you all about it. It just happened today. So I'm a firm believer, and we've talked about it on this show before. I'm a firm believer like that we're all adults. If you look at somebody and you don't want to communicate with them, that's how it goes. If somebody looks at me and they don't say anything, or even if I message them and they don't respond, like, that's it. No sweat off my back. I move on. We're adults, period. But I had this gentleman who,
Oh, is that plenty of fuck off and die?
POF.
I just want to share the beginning of one of his messages. And basically he sent me a message and I didn't respond. I don't respond to them all. I just don't. And the reason I don't is because of this. So, and just to share, I pulled up his profile and his very second photo was a meme about bitches. So I'm like, he's probably not my type. But he's like, it's a trip for you to be a big girl, read my message, look at my profile and not even say hello. Why are you on the internet acting funny? You wonder why it's hard to meet people? I don't think you talk, sweetheart. You just look at the pages And if there's not something there that catches your attention, you don't even reply to the message. Wow.
Isn't that how it's
What are
supposed
you
to
on
work?
here for? What are you really looking for? So I'm just going to share my response and then we'll discuss. And I wasn't going to grace it with one, but he's right, and he acknowledges later, I hit the button and I knew, you'd respond to that, and he did. And I said, thanks for reaching out and for the follow-up message. I'm not sure what being a big girl has to do with anything. We're both adults. We both have the ability to read a profile and choose not to contact or respond. That's how it works. In this case, I received your message, glanced at your profile, and my first impression was your meme about bitches. I realized this is supposed to get my panties nice and wet, but what can I say? Bitches be bitches. I said, I'm not sure how that's considered on the internet and acting funny. Now, a glance at my search history is a different story. But hey, whatever makes you feel better about the whole thing. He then proceeded to, and again, I won't go into all of it, but...
Holy shit, that's a lot.
Yeah, no. He continued on, and that all he was trying to do, I was going at him and acting up and everything.
He said you were acting up.
Yeah, I was acting up, and the only reason, all I read was the being big, and then that got the response, and I didn't read any of the rest of his message. He said, if you did, you would see that I was trying to alert you to the fact that someone's using your profile picture and sending a link to try and get me to click on it.
No,
and I'm
you
like,
didn't mention that at all.
You didn't mention it. Not at all. I don't even know what you're talking about. And then he just, it's more than is worth my energy. But bottom line, if you do get a request and it includes a link, I probably wouldn't click it.
Yeah.
That's all.
I've had a couple of conversations like that where guys like me and I view their profile and then I don't respond or like them back or send them a message or reply. And then they're like, what, you too good for me? And I'm like, yeah. I had one guy.
Yeah.
So on FetLife, you can just send random people messages. And I get it so much more regularly than I should, especially since the top red letters in my profile very clearly in .24 font say, I am not looking for a relationship from this website. Fuckboys need not apply, or message, period. Like, not interested. And a guy sends me a message and was like, oh, I just want to talk about our future. And I'm like, what possible future could we have to talk about? Well, me and you. I'm like, there's not going to be a me and you. And he's like, I'm good enough for you. And I'm like, I said, OMG, I, period, am, period, not, period, interested, period.
I think just the statement that I'm good enough for you is enough to turn anybody off.
Right.
My panty flow stopped.
Here it is. At the end of the day, as people who are actively dating, as adults, that's what we are. We're all adults. Nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes you... Oh, are we done?
No, it's trying to reconnect. It lost the internet for a second, but it reconnected.
Nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes you... Is it polite to respond to all of your messages? Absolutely. But after a while, as we've discussed on here, you don't jump to respond because...
Toxie also gets a lot more messages than I do, apparently. I get like one a month, maybe.
I was just watching. I'm a big fan of The Daily Show. I'm totally in love with Trevor. And he just put out this video. I just watched it the other day about rejection rage. Have you ever? Well, it's not. His video wasn't about that, but that's what I've coined it. It's the rage people get when they're being rejected, right, or not talked to or whatever. And
I have the exact.
He was actually talking about when Tommy Lair. Is that her name?
Tommy Lahiri.
She came onto the show and was interviewed on The Daily Show, and then she was getting hate mail and death threats from fucking liberals, right? And then people on the right were sending her hate mail and death threats for going onto a liberal show.
Right.
And he says, and it wasn't just like, you're stupid or whatever. They called her a bitch, white trash, a whore, all kinds of horrible misogyny. Right. I hope you get raped and die in a gully or whatever. And he says you can't be liberal and non-misogynistic to the people that you like and not to the people that you don't like. I mean, it doesn't work that way because it shows your total character.
Right, but it does, because literally so many people are one way in person and another way on the internet.
Right.
That's
like
true.
they are,
That's true.
their whole goal in life is to become a famous internet troll, even though they could be the nicest, sweetest person you've ever met. If you see some of your friends' comments on things, and a lot of the times though they have anonymous accounts that they use, so it's not their regular
But it
account,
wasn't even. He even gave the example of just a regular old everyday guy who's always fighting for the rights of others and the oppressed and the poor and
then calls some girl a fucking cunt ass bitch because she's on some show
right,
he watches,
or starts cursing them out with all the inflammatory because the person was black and starts using racist slurs.
Yeah.
And then say, I'm not racist, but they got me so mad. That's not an excuse. Just because you got mad is not an excuse to be
No,
an
racism
ass.
is never acceptable. I don't care how pissed the fuck off you are. An asshole's an asshole, and it doesn't matter the color of skin around it.
And you should tie that right into misogyny as well.
None of that shit is available or acceptable.
Listen, no one likes rejection. I
No.
mean,
I get rejection depression. That's my thing. They're like, no, I'm not interested. Most of the time they don't tell me they're interested. They just read my thing and then they move on. And then I'm like, they didn't like me. And then I'm depressed for a couple of days because some fucking rando dude that I probably normally honestly wouldn't have talked to in real life, but I messaged him anyway on the dating app because I was like, well, I can lower that standard 1 score. And but he didn't reply. And I'm like, I'm not pretty enough for the
but you would never say something like that.
No, I would not
And
respond.
so the opposite is that I don't know, for some reason. I mean, maybe women do it to guys too on dating sites. I'm
women are just
sure.
as bad.
I'm sure they are.
But I would never imagine saying to a guy like, oh my God, why did you look at my profile and you didn't respond? How dare you not even give me the courtesy of saying something after looking at my profile?
I don't have time for that shit.
Like, why?
I'm too busy messaging 50 guys a month who don't reply to me.
I'm going to tell you, back in the day when MySpace switched over to Facebook, that was one of the draws of Facebook. Was that because on MySpace, if you went to look at somebody's profile, it alerted you that somebody looked at your profile. On Facebook, it does not do that.
Well, then they show up in your people you may know.
Yeah. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure that's
but-
how the people you may know shit is populated. Because it'd be like, there'd be people I've never seen before in my life, and then we have 3 friends in common, and suddenly they're at the top of that list, and I'm like,
Yeah, no, I've kind of talked about it on here before where I did the 23andMe, and I found this whole, I never knew my birth father and the family, and I ended up starting talking to some. Well, my birth father's dead, but his wife all of a sudden started popping up on my people you may know, and I'm like, oh fuck, like I don't want to deal with her. So
I know that it's usually when I make a new friend with someone, it's their friends that show up. It's not.
no, that happens
responds
too. They're not
Yeah.
all. They're
and
not all like
sometimes
that.
when I add a new contact into my phone, suddenly it's like, hey, this person you know in business should be on your Facebook
Yes.
page. And I'm like, no, they
No,
should
they shouldn't.
not.
Yeah, that happens too. Like, there's a lot of different algorithms.
I got a
but
LinkedIn profile for that shit.
sometimes it happens. Sometimes. So
Yeah. No, I'm pretty
I have
sure.
someone I totally stalk on Facebook, and this person's well aware I stalk them on Facebook, but they always come up daily in people you may know. So, I always screenshot and send. I'm like, see, we really should be Facebook friends.
Jasper wants to know what type of rejection is when they talk to you online, they give you every compliment in the book, but then when you see them in public, there is a silent as a church mouse and a boy do you altogether and avoid you altogether.
That I get that a lot, where they're very complimentary in the chat, and then we show up on a date, and then you see that like, oh, you're not as pretty in person as I thought you'd be. As I photograph fairly well
You do.
with the right angles and some makeup and lighting. And so that's what all of my pictures are. But then you see me in person, and I'm like, how's it going? And it's not the same person.
I love when she snorts.
Right? I always throw one of those really bad makeupless ones on at the end of my profile.
Almost all of my
And I-
photos are without makeup.
Yeah, like I make sure like I throw some of those in there, and I'm like, here's worst case scenario.
I'm thinking about, that terrible angle selfie you take to send
Yeah,
to your
yeah,
friends
yeah.
just to be like, look at how awful this is.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the
You take
devil-
it from below and it's up, and
Yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
do one of those. I'm thinking about making that my profile picture on all the dating sites. And then if guys respond or message me, then I know we're onto something.
I was on this one site, and I put these pictures on, and my friend's like, no, you need, like, worse pictures. And I'm like, okay, and I put some worse pictures on. She's like, no, worse pictures. Like, where's your bad angle photos? Like, those are the ones these guys want to see. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, I hope you enjoyed your time with us. I'm Alexia.
Toxie.
Sierra.
And we will see you next week.
If you're brave enough.
Later, bitches.
You had to be super brave for this show tonight.